Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Point of View by Harbinger Systems. My name is Jomi John, and I am the host of the series. As you all know by now, the Point of View series helps in addressing some of the most frequently asked questions in HR Tech, which are backed, of course, by Harbinger's own experience and research in this area. In today's point of view, we will be talking about how to enhance collaboration and productivity in your own HR apps and let me introduce my co host for this session. Vibhuti Agarwal has over 2 decades of experience in user interface design and consulting. She recently also spoke about design thinking as well as work tech in our last point of view series. And both of us will be chatting up with Mahesh Kharade, who is an expert consultant and has helped architect many such HR tech and work tech applications in the past. Welcome both.
Thanks, Jomi. For our viewers, Jomi has a decade of experience in consulting on various topics in HR tech and technology.
Thanks for that intro, Vibhuti. And just to get started, I remember our last discussion on what work tech is and how collaboration technology is a very important part of that. So, coming from that discussion to what we are speaking today, you bring up Microsoft Teams to be an important way to enable that collaboration feature in your HR applications. Am I understanding the topic correct?
Yes, Jomi. In fact, Microsoft Teams has been really instrumental in solving the communication challenges that we had, especially during the pandemic. So, April 2020 alone saw 75 million daily active users. But collaboration is much more than just sending messages from person A to person B. In a workplace, collaboration is like a collective effort between teams internally and externally with a whole lot of topics, documents, status checks, and so on. And I think Microsoft Teams has a lot of platform support to help product developers do that.
Wow. So, what I understand from what you say is that Microsoft Teams, now which has introduced platform support, which means that developers can now start building collaboration features into their application, right? And I'm sure Mahesh, since you are the tech geek here, I'm sure you've got your hands dirty with exploring all these features, correct?
Yes, yes, Joey.
Can I just say something, Mahesh? Sorry for interrupting you here, but before you start rattling off the tech features, I just wanted to put a point here that we started looking for such solutions when an ISV customer approached us with fixing their recruitment features around 2 months into the pandemic. And their customer development teams started getting requests from end users, basically the recruiters, whose work had gotten even more difficult during the pandemic. So they had systems to do their work for sure, but they had no idea as to how they could fit this whole collaboration and coordination piece of their work into the product. So, Mahesh, can you now share your thoughts with this context?
Yes, thanks, Vibhuti, for sort of letting me now take over. Thanks, Joey. I think thanks for this session. I think it's always great to be part of being this series and share our experience with everyone on whatever work we do. And I think, as both of you rightly said, right, Team has a lot to offer as a platform. I think which is beyond its core usage, that is the day-to-day communication activities. In fact, it offers an ability to ingest collaboration features into different workflows as we sort of work with them. And to sort of explain this better, let's do a quick walkthrough of the Teams features. And to be honest, I think talking about all these features that Team offer as a platform, I think it's itself is a big topic. But in the interest of time, I'll just talk about 4 key features that one can use while developing different Teams apps. I think to start with, the first one is tabs. Now, tabs are used primarily to embed content or views from web applications into the Teams app. That's where even tabs can be added into the chat groups and channels. The next one is the conversational bots. Now, we are aware of chatbots and there are many other ways to do it. But when it comes to the Teams, this is where we can sort of make use of the chatbot and teams together to automate your workflows and provide that interaction right within the Teams interface. Bots also can be used for proactive messaging or even sending reminders, nudges to the users, and so on. The next component, I think, or the important feature is the messaging extension. Now, in a way, it's a different because you can use the Teams interface to link actions into the external applications without even building a bot. Now, that's where one can use a chat box or even a form pop-up to initiate quick actions where you can seek user inputs quickly and sort of link it to the external applications and initiate those actions outside. And the last one is the webhooks and the connectors. Now, I think webhooks are very much known, connectors are known, but let's bring it into the context of Teams. And that's where I think it's a backbone of a connection between Microsoft Teams and the different web applications. It offers variety of options to send and receive data between Teams and the external applications. In short, Microsoft Teams offers a lot of flexibility for developers to choose from. And based on the scenario, one can implement a very lightweight Teams app or can go all the way to make a Teams app that is acting as a primary interface for specific functionality, which needs a lot of collaboration between your end users.
That's very interesting, Mahesh. So, when we think about how these features could really solve some of the collaboration challenges in recruitment, the outcome of the design thinking exercise that we did, which is understanding who are the actors in the process and what challenges they face, is really important. Let me quickly share how it is in this case. So, in the recruitment process, there are two important parts in collaboration. One being internal, which has the recruiter, the hiring manager, and the interviewer. And on the external part, the actors are the recruiter and the candidate who need to really collaborate with each other. So once we have understood how the collaboration takes place, we can look at all the steps that typically the internal collaborators take part in, from creating the job description till the finalization of the offer. Now, before the pandemic, all these actions took place in the applicant tracking system, supported by in-person collaborations. But post-pandemic, we see Microsoft Teams coming in as a tool that really facilitates this in-person collaboration.
Actually, that makes it really clear. So, what's evident is that pre-pandemic, there were not a lot of challenges in terms of collaboration because all the collaboration happened in person between recruiters and interviewers and even other external candidates. But post the pandemic, even though there were collaboration systems, there is clearly a gap in the work systems in which actually the recruitment steps are captured and in the collaboration tools in which the collaboration takes place. So that truly sort of raises a question, Mahesh, which is how do we use Teams to fix this gap?
Yes, Joe. I think that's a valid point. And to understand it better, let's revisit the hiring workflow we just looked at. Okay. Mm-hmm. So with the current setup, what we are saying is that users are switching between Teams and the ATS interface several times, mm-hmm. which makes it sort of difficult and time consuming for them. And essentially this leads sort of to create certain effects onto their productivity. So the objective is to map some of the activities from ATS side with some of these 4 key features we just discussed at the start of the session, which were like tabs, bots, messaging extensions, and connectors. And bear with me because I'll be repeating some of that conversation again. So as we said, tabs are used to embed content from the web application. Now, if we look at the recruitment workflow, we have certain views like job position details and user dashboards that can be now made available into the Teams using this tabs option. As we know, tabs can be added at the chat group level or inside the channels. Now, one can further fine-tune these views in the context of groups or channels, which can be department or projects if mapped correctly into the organizational structure. Then the next one is the workflows, right? And I think when we talk about workflows, bots are the one way to do that, where we can seek user input, inform users, and even execute that workflow end-to-end using the chatbot, right? So that's where in the recruitment process, we have actions like approvals, status updates, which can be enabled through a bot interface. Bot can also be used to define intelligent commands so that user can make necessary updates in the ATS from Teams interface itself. Bot can also keep track of actions or the tasks that are assigned to the users and remind them whenever required. So there's a lot of interaction we can enable using Teams and the bot together and connect it to the ATS actions that we just see on the screen. Moving on, we have messaging extensions where it can be used to seek quick user input that can trigger actions into the external apps, right? So here we have actions like getting user comments onto the different stages that are there in the hiring process, or even feedback about an interview, which one can just enter through a chat box that Teams offer, and the ATS updates would happen automatically in the background. The last one is the data connector, where the simple use case can be releasing an offer letter to the candidate. Now, one can argue that now this is happening through an ATS. What Team has to do with it? What I'm saying here is you just link an action from Teams that triggers sending an offer letter to the candidate. Now, all that is happening in the Teams today, where they decide to send an offer. How about just linking it to the ATS and say, okay, now you release it. There's no need to go to the ATS to perform that action. I mean, I know this is a lot of information to digest in one conversation, but I hope this gives clarity on how we map between a use case and a respective feature from the Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, a little detailed, but truly valuable information, in my opinion. It helped me understand how all these different stakeholders in a business workflow collaborate, and how they can use Teams and other such work-related integrations to help them actually do in the flow of their work actions very well and effectively. Very interesting. I agree.
Yeah, right. And in fact, we spoke about recruitment, but I presume that similar challenges must be existing in many such workflows like the learning workflow and the sales, operations, and even finance too. So, Mahesh, can Teams really help all of those with these features?
I think absolutely. Teams offer collaboration by design, but it also provides different ways to make user interactions even more engaging. In my opinion, with the kind of different features it offers, it has potential to unify an interface for multiple applications that we use for our day-to-day work. I'm sure this exactly is what leads to a better user experience and further enhances the productivity of the end users.
That was really this is really mind blowing, and I think we also had a really good discussion. What's really interesting for us to know is that once you have identified a workflow, then you can further build it using Teams, use all the features that Teams offers, and then map it back to that workflow to make collaboration easier. The good part is Microsoft Teams has many such controls which you can use for for your purpose based on the workflow that you decide to implement in your product. And if you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to share some of the tips and tricks that we have learned during our study and analysis as well. Thank you so much, Vibhuti, and thank you, Mahesh, for helping us clear some of these questions. And as far as our listeners are concerned, if you have any questions, feel free to write to us at consulting@harbingergroup.com, or you could also leave us a comment below in the comment box, and we'll try our best to get back to you as soon as you can. In case you have missed any of our point of view sessions, you could also watch the recordings which are posted on our website, which is harbinger-systems.com. And you could also follow us on our social media channels, where you will be updated on many such point of view sessions that we will be having. So catch you next time with more such interesting sessions and point of views, and hope that you enjoyed watching this session just as much as we enjoyed making this for you. Thank you, and stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you.